Lawrence, the Steelers' backfield right now, it feels like with the Jalen Warren injury, Cordell Patterson's been banged up, Arthur Smith is there. I feel like this would be the year for Najee Harris, but right now he only has one game this season with more than 12 fantasy points.
I felt like this would be the year. I felt like versus the Cowboys, it would be the game.
Yeah.
You know, past couple of weeks without Jalen Warren, that's kind of your time to get going, you know, then you get the matchup. But, you know, for Najee Harris this week, I'm going to close it out. First off, you got this game with the Raiders and Steelers. The over-under's 36.5, so you don't expect a lot of scoring there, first off. Right, Najee Harris doesn't have a touchdown this season, and he's averaging 3 yards per carry. So I would say the good thing is that he's still getting those opportunities, but you know, kind of fell into do the best with them. Then you look at the Raiders, who this defense is middling. They haven't allowed a rushing touchdown to a running back since week 3. So they're going to be missing Christian Wilkins there in the middle, and that's a extremely big part of it because he had been playing well this season. But it's just once you see some things enough times, and you just talked about it, kind of having bye weeks, and maybe you feel like you have to start Najee Harris. But if you have 2 solid running backs, I would probably start Tank Bigsby over Najee Harris this week, right? So I'm going to close it out on Najee Harris for this week. Sorry, Jay.
Yeah, that's okay, Lawrence. With one first piece of analysis, Lawrence and I were on the field at the stadium formerly known as Heinz Field on Sunday, getting up close to Najee Harris. Yeah. Gigantic human being.
He looked like he looked like he about 6'8". He looked like basically LeBron.
Yeah.
But at running back.
Yeah,
like you know he's 6'2", but
it's a different 6'2".
Yeah, he is an absolute monster, which makes me, why aren't you a little bit better at running the football, Najee? But here's the thing with Najee, right? So PFF grades, usually there's about 60 qualifiers at running backs in terms of snaps. Here's where Najee is ranked of those 60 is 4 years in the NFL. 30th, 27th, 21st, 33rd. Like, that's just kind of what he is, I think.
He's just a guy.
He's just an average, like, he's not a bad running back by any means. He's just average, he's solid, and in an offense where that offensive line is not a massive strength of the team. There's no real spacing, so to speak, in the offense because of what they're getting at quarterback at the moment. So, look, the Raiders' defense, against the run, it's been okay, but the past couple of weeks they've played, you know, Bo Nix and the Broncos offense, and then Deshaun Watson the week before that. So their stats are a little bit inflated. The underlying stuff on the Raiders' run defense isn't amazing. So with Najee, again, just with the amount of teams that are on bye now, I would keep it open reluctantly. It's also part of my brand to keep it open on Najee Harris, though, so take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah, RB25 for Matthew. He is a close for Matthew this week. I think another thing, Lawrence, too, is that if you have Najee, you're almost rooting for Russ to take over at quarterback at some point in this offseason, so you get a higher dump-off rate than what Fields gives you.
You'll definitely have more in the receiving game, but if that were the case, and by that time, if at some point Russell Wilson did take over, well, Jalen Warren will be back at that time, too. And the last time he was on the field, he looked like he was getting going. He had 9 carries and 40 yards his last time out. So he's either like, you can get that, but then you're going to lose. You're definitely losing something once Jalen Warren get back.
Yeah, the other thing with Fields, and this is the main thing, is that, like, Fields, he runs the ball 9 times a game. Like, it becomes a math problem for guys like Najee. If you're not super efficient and you're a quarterback taking 9 carries a game, it's like there's only so many times you can run the ball.
Yeah, if Lamar or Jaden Daniels run 9 times a game, well, you're scoring 30 points, so you're going to get opportunities. Brian Robinson's going to get those opportunities, right? So, but it's just not the case with this Steelers offense.
Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBCSports.com and RotoWorld.com, and I want to thank you so much for watching whatever it is you just watched, or if nothing else, being too lazy to click out of the autoplay after this video started, after whatever it is you actually wanted to watch finished. But now that you're here, I'd like to take a moment here to ask you respectfully now, okay? I'm asking you respectfully to subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. You'll get the latest Roto World fantasy news headlines, all sorts of great shows, including my own Fantasy Football Happy Hour. So go subscribe now. Again, I'm asking respectfully.